last time in January. It's the Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2025, the sixth race of the year, race 3, round 2. Now, hands up all those of you who thought that just because this is the desert, it's hot all the time. Well, come and stand where I'm standing. This is not hot at all. It is absolutely freezing out here compared to what we're used to in the United Arab Emirates. And that means that the track surface is going to be so cold. Come down with me. It is so cold, the circuit here. I can actually feel absolutely no heat generated from this circuit whatsoever. It is the coldest I've ever known it. And that's because we are very close to midnight here. We are going to be very tough. So what are you doing on your back? You should be watching the racing. Just as well you've tuned in at the right time. We're going to have some amazing competitors out here on the grid. Pole position is going to be for the ART Grand Prix driver, Evan Schielter. Now, a bit of an update after race 2. For those who were watching and realised that Evan Schielter disappeared from the fray, he had a clutch problem on the installation lap. They tried to get it repaired by doing the formation lap. They realised that it was too big a risk, and they thought there was a genuine chance he would not move on the grid, and they did not want anybody thumping into the back of him stationary on the grid. So they decided not to take the risk. So Evan Schielter is going to be lining up in pole position. Hopefully the car is going to work, because they literally had it in bits trying to repair it and getting it back into position. Now, if you look all the way back in P5 on the starting grid on the 3rd row, that is where the championship leader Freddie Slater is going to be starting from. His second qualifying did not go as well as his first, and ever since that point he's basically been going on a little bit of a downward spiral. This corkscrew layout, very different in setup to the Grand Prix layout, so he's definitely on the back foot. Now, there's quite a few drivers who could take advantage of the situation. One of them is Brando Badua. Fresh off the back of his race 2 victory from a reverse grid pole, he actually qualified second for race 3, so he suddenly got himself in the chance of a second victory. But one man who could go for the win tonight is the man who conquered and dominated at the Macau Grand Prix. We'll show you the highlights from earlier on, and then we'll have a word with the American sensation, Yuga Chukwu. Hugo, great to see you back in the Middle East again. Last year you were very strong in what was your first year in the category. Now you're established. How is the mind coming in?
Yeah, obviously second year here, so it's a little bit easier already. A bit more experience with the circuits and stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Round 1 didn't really go away, but I think the team and I are pretty confident what went wrong, and I think we should definitely be more competitive for the rest of the championship.
Now, last year you were based out of the Premier Run Mumbai Falcons. Here you are this year in Race GP. What was the need for the change for you? Why did you decide to go with a different team?
Yeah, I mean, we felt like it was time for a little bit of a switch up here in Premac. Obviously, Macau went really well with our race, so that kind of, told us like, let's give it a go in Premac as well. And yeah, that's just kind of how it played out.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because I've been watching the Macau Grand Prix for 30 years, and it's very rare you get a driver that handles himself so much without even flirting with a barrier. What was it like getting into the zone and feeling the car and feeling the circuit? Was it quite natural in the end?
Yeah, still.
Great to hear from Yuga Chukwu, the man who dominated all at Macau back in November. And now we've got one race to go here tonight on the corkscrew layout of the Marina circuit. Only 3 corners different, and that big hairpin where Max Verstappen claimed his Formula 1 crown in 2021 gone, but it changes the whole face of the circuit. We're no longer thinking about top-end speed, we're thinking about traction and downforce. And that changes the behavior of these cars on this circuit, especially in these cold temperatures. It is 11 p.m. in 15 seconds time, the latest we've ever run a single-seater race, I think ever, at the Marina circuit. I don't think it's ever run as late as this before for any single-seater race in the history of the circuit. 12 degrees Celsius between that and 25 air temperature. I think it's closer to 12 degrees being out there myself. It almost feels like Lancashire out there on the circuit, which sounds ridiculous when we're in the middle of the desert. But this man has got big pressure on him tonight. 30 points available for the race victory. He took one yesterday in race 1. He couldn't even start the race in the earlier encounter because of a clutch malfunction. They've rebuilt the car. He's back on pole position. Everyone in France will be crossing their fingers, toes, legs, arms, kneecaps, you name it. They want him to stay in position and go for that race victory. The man alongside him is the winner of race 2, which means that the 2 men on the front row of the grid are the 2 previous winners in this round. Brandon Badua did a great job in qualifying 2 to put it second on the grid for this race, and having had a reverse grid win, it's now between the 2 men who've won this weekend, Gilter and Badua, to go for the race victory. But if they can't get the job done, everyone here in the United Arab Emirates is cheering for this man, Rashid Al Daheri. He's at a 3rd, he's at a 2nd. Is this the night on his home circuit where he grew up 15 minutes away? Is this the night where he claims his first Formula Regional victory? A great opportunity for the Emirati. What can he do? And what can the man that we've just heard from in the pre-race program, Yuga Chukwu, do from 4th on the grid? These are the sorts of conditions he relishes. He loves it when things are tricky. He loves it when his back's against the wall. That's when he usually brings out his A game. And Yuga Chukwu is definitely a driver who can rise to the occasion from P4 on the grid. But 5th position on the starting grid is the championship leader. Freddie Slater claimed all before him in round 1 of the championship. Round 2 has been very much damage limitation and wondering what on earth has gone wrong with his pace. Even they don't have an answer for it, but they've only got one more race to get through. If they can stay in the championship lead, that will be all to the good as we head to Dubai in 2 weeks' time. 6th position on the grid for the Frenchman Enzo Deligny, looking much more confident on the grid for this race compared to the earlier encounters. So it'll be tough for him from 6th on the starting grid, but he's definitely going to be one to watch. There to the right is Hadrien David, who is going to be advising him over the course of this season. And 7th position on the grid, this time it is an all-Japanese row 4. And it's the 2 young protégés of the 2 biggest car manufacturers in Japan. For Honda and for ART Grand Prix, it's Taito Kato. He won the French F4 Championship last year. He is a real star in the making. As funny on the practical jokes as he is fast on the right foot. Watch out for this boy. He's going to be a real personality in and out of the cockpit. But anything Honda can bring to the table, Toyota can bring something special too. And Toyota's young gun is Jin Nakamura. They've placed him at Race GP for this particular championship campaign. He may have cuddly teddy bears on his helmet, but he is no soft toy. The Toyota Gazoo youngster is full of action and drama. Fresh tyres going on Jin Nakamura's car. Also on the Red Bull youngsters, Ernesto Rivera of Mexico, looking for a much better race than he's had in races 1 and 2. It'll be tough for him from 9th on the grid, but he knows his objectives. Helmut Marko has put his faith in this boy for a reason. F4 Spanish race winner last year, What can he do this time? And 10th on the grid, the Frenchman, Théophile Nal. His last race in Formula Regional Middle East before he disappears back to Europe to prepare for FIA Formula 3. It's been fun, Théophile. We're glad you got some silverware, and we wish you all the best in FIA Formula 3. There are some great battlers behind them as well. What about this man, the Mexican Jesse Carrasquedo? He loves the television time, doesn't he? He is the man to watch for. 11th on the starting grid. He's a real entertainer, and you're going to get some proper entertainment tonight. Some of the highlights and the drama in the action from the earlier race yesterday. In the sunshine, this circuit really provided some action, but it's going to feel like a completely different racetrack tonight. The corkscrew layout means that we start to focus in on the grip and the traction that the cars can find rather than how fast they can get to at the end of the back straight. That back straight has been cut, by the way, by 1/3, so it's nowhere near as much. And this circuit, dirty air on the corkscrew circuit, is everybody's least favourite element. It's often part of the race battle. On this night race at 11 p.m. at night, how is this circuit going to provide us with even more drama than we've seen so far? Evan Schielter was victorious yesterday, Brandon Madua victorious earlier this evening. Who will get it done in race 3? It's time for the formation lap in Formula Middle East's premier category, Formula Regional in the Middle East Championship. 2023, the champion Andrea Kimi Antonelli is now in Formula 1 with Mercedes. Last year's champion Tukka Tarpanen is in the Grand Prix paddock with the Ferrari Driver Academy in Formula 3. The champion this year is almost certainly on the same career path. All of the 26 competitors hoping for a good race. This time they've all got away cleanly from the line. And keep an eye on Evan Schielter. That car has been completely rebuilt at the rear end after the clutch failed on it. They took the car to pieces during race 2 to get it ready for this race. It's going to be a tough one, whatever happens. Evan Schielter, pole position. Brandon Madua, race 2 winner in 2nd on the grid. Then Rashid Al-Daheri on home turf alongside Yuga Chukwu, the American for the McLaren Young Driver Program. 5th on the grid, Freddie Slater, championship leader alongside the Frenchman Enzo Deligny. Then it's the Japanese twins, Taito Kato and Jin Nakamura, Honda versus Toyota. 9th on the starting grid, it's the ever-impressive Ernesto Rivera alongside the Frenchman Théophile Nal. Then Jesse Carrasquedo lines up beside Akshay Bora for Race GP in 12th. Behind them on the grid, 13th for Jack Beaton. He was on form after his podium in race 2. Kanato Lee, race 2 winner in round 1. Reza Swerden for his last race of the season, and Kai Danianani, ever improving for Evans Grand Prix. 17th on the grid for Giovanni Mascio, doing a much better job in 2025. Luruche is next up. Everett Stack is beside Aditya Kulkarni for the new Axel GP by PHM Squad. 21 is Aaron Cameron. The Australian also missed the first race of the day due to a gearbox issue. Lorenzo Castillo, 22nd on the grid beside. Then Yaroslav Vezalaho and Wang Shengwei lining up in 24th. And bringing up the back of the grid is Jaden Pariat alongside Britain's Finley Green. So with all 26 cars making their way to the starting line, this is going to be a tough race. It'll be really difficult for everybody, and I know there's people watching that are expecting the race to have started a lot sooner than this. But we had a red flag in the F4 race because we had a start line incident. Everybody's okay, by the way. So it's just delayed our schedule. But all 4 drivers involved in that start line incident were out of the race on the spot. Biggest impact was only about 40 miles an hour. So everyone is okay. But now it's gone 11 p.m. We're going through to midnight. And under the lights here at Yas Marina, we could have 3 winners from 3 races. Race 1 winner, Evan Schielter on pole. Race 2 winner, Brando Badua alongside him. That's just the way it's worked out through qualifying. But in 3rd position is Rashid Al-Daheri, the leading rookie on the grid in this race. 2 places ahead of the championship leader, Freddie Slater. Who's going to get the victory tonight? Could Yuga Chukwu throw his hat into the ring? Could his teammate Enzo Deligny play a starring role? And what about the Japanese upstarts? Taito Kato from the Honda program, Jin Nakamura from the Toyota program. Who's going to get the best of it in the last race of the week? The red lights come on. And we're ready to race in Abu Dhabi. Let's race one more time at Yas Marina, and it's a perfect start from Brandon Badoa, but Shilter has got the better of him. Rashid Al Daherdi's got a bit of a slow one. That's enough for Ugachukwu to get into third position. He's up the inside line. It's 3 wide as Ugachukwu fancies his chances on Badoa. Can he get there? Ugachukwu into second place. Great run from the American, and he's into P2, chasing down Shilter, and up to third comes Rashid Al Daherdi. He gets through. Big slide from Kanashkado as he goes clean off the road in the W Hotel, somehow manages to keep it roughly together, and now he's got to try and get some grip back as they work their way under the bridge and back into the Formula One Stadium section. Freddie Slater's not made any gains, but he's also not lost any positions either. He's tucked up behind Rashid Al Daherdi, so it could be a night of damage limitation for the Englishman. But Evan Shilter looking so strong in the lead from Ugachukwu as the rest of the field tries to stay out of trouble on the opening lap. And Esther Rivera battling away with one of the Santa Locks. That's got to be Teofil Nal. It is indeed. He runs out a bit wide. Nal's got an opportunity. He's going to try a long trick here to then dive up the inside in the braking zone as a big opportunity could open up here. Rashid Al Daherdi trying not to trip over Brandon Badoa as Reza Subwerthen goes wheel to wheel with Jin Nakamura, who's not had the best of starts. They drop through the right, then out through the square left and along the back straight. And the two leaders have broken clear. Evan Shilter versus Ugachukwu in third position. Rashid Al Daherdi is going to have to do some homework to get ahead of Brandon Badoa, who's trying to keep that car as wide as a Buick. Diving in, Tato Gato! It's Freddie Slater! Slater's gone around! The championship leader is facing the wrong way. Taito Gata with a broken front wing. Slater's gone backwards, and this is perfect for Evan Shilter. All of a sudden, Freddie Slater's championship lead is going to be deleted. I cannot believe it. Taito Kato is limping back to the pits. It's going to be the longest limp in history, and that's Yaroslav Azalaho spun out. Freddie Slater is practically out of this race. I cannot believe it. Taito Kato too aggressive on the opening lap in the chicane. He pitches Slater around, and that's both of them out of it. Shilter leads. Ugachukwu second from Badoa and Al Daherdi. And if you're French, you are jumping up and down on your sofa as if it's not even there. What an incredible development. Evan Shilter is looking at 30 points with no points coming the way of Freddie Slater. That's the Axel GP driver in trouble. That is Jaden Pariat. So he's out of the race in the pits. What's happened to Slater? Has he got going again? He has, but he's down at the back. Well, big disaster. I'm not quite sure why we're seeing the highlights reel again. I think we meant to see the incident between Taito Kato and Freddie Slater. We'll try again. Safety car is of course called. There's no way we weren't going to go under safety car after that. But as Wesman rightly points out on the stream, this championship has suddenly been turned on its head. Just like that, Freddie Slater had a dominant lead, and now he's down at the back, and that's if he can keep going with the damage to his car. What a way for this championship to pivot on its own axis. Shilter leading, Ugachukwu, Badoa and Al Daherdi, then Deligny, Rivera, Nile, Nakamura, Subwerthen and Akshay Bora, with Freddie Slater nowhere to be seen. He's down at the back. I'm just going to look for him to go past my commentary box window to make sure that he is still in the race, because it's debatable. Yes, there he is. He's at the back. There's the replay. Unfortunately, there was never, ever going to be a clear path through there for Taito Kato. As Freddie Slater is pitched around, Yaroslav Azalaho puts his hands out of the cockpit to say, I'm okay, I just don't know what happened. Carnage. My goodness me. A very tricky situation now in the championship fight. Because now Shilter leads the way, and if he wins the race, that's 30 points. My goodness me. The chat on our YouTube stream of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship has lit up. Let's have a look at the highlights from that start. Perfect start in the end for Shilter. Look at Al Daherdi. He got a little bit of a slow one. Ugachukwu slots him. The star of this race start is Ugachukwu. Watch him in the first turn. So he's decided to go up the middle. Then he just commits on the throttle. I thought we were going to continue that on through, but he just committed in the middle of the course, found the throttle, braved it out on the far side, and drove around Just an amazing start from Yuga Chukwu. That just shows you when he's in the top 4, he's got confidence, and in these conditions, he's perfect. Right, watch Kato. Break, break, break. Too late. Pitches Slater around. I think Slater's got away with that, you know. Of course, obviously, he's dropped to the back of the field, but I think he's got away without damage. As Vesalaho, he's out of the race on the spot. But I think, incredibly, we're going to have Gilter in the lead of the race. I mean, I went to see Evan Gilter after race 2. He looked pretty fed up with things. He was obviously watching the race from the pit lane. And when Taito Kato came up, we said, unlucky Taito, because he had a bit of a difficult race too. And Evan Gilter joked to him, he said, well, you hit Freddie Slater, you just didn't hit him hard enough. Wonder what he's going to say to him at the end of race 3. The feeling that Taito Kato is going to have more than a ticking off. Safety car in at the end of this lap. The lights are out. So it's up to Evan Gilter now to take advantage of the situation. If he can hold on to this, then the lead in the race and the championship is going French. Evan Gilter's just got to hold his nerve on the restart. He's gone for it. Perfect timing. Not a lot Yuga Chukwu could do about that one as they get back on the power over the start-finish line. And it's green, 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 green here at Yas Marina. Gilter with a perfect restart. Yuga Chukwu pushing him on. Aldeheri getting racy behind Brandon Badua on the restart. Badua was a little bit slow on the first part of the race. Has he been able to work the tyres back into a good position to hold his position ahead of Yuga Chukwu? Ahead of Aldeheri, I should say. Whatever it looks like, Rashid Aldeheri looks like he's good for the rookie win now as Freddie Slater recovers down in 23rd. Ironically enough, Taito Kato is in 24th after repairing that front wing and then getting going again. So Freddie Slater is now down in 23rd. Watch for him, he'll come through. Oh, I thought he was going to come into our picture then. We were looking through the back of the field, but he is there. He's just down in 23rd place. We'll see how much ground he can make up in the remaining 21 minutes. It's not going to be easy for Freddie Slater. Let's have a look back through the pack. We might just be able to see him come around the turn as we follow the field. There he is, right at the back of the field, I think. Come through the turn. Yes, he's right at the tail end of the field, so he's now just got to try and work his way forward. I think he's already picked off one car. I think he's found Castillo. He's now going to try and take on Finley Green in the pinnacle. So Aldeheri chasing down Brando Badua, race 2 winner in 3rd position. So it'll be a really interesting challenge for them as they continue to make their moves forward. Now, interestingly, there is a track limits warning for 3 cars, and one of them is Freddie Slater. The other 2, Reza Sawirthan and Aaron Cameron. To the chicane, no problems for Gilter in front of Yuga Chukwu, then Badua and Aldeheri. Watch for Rashid Aldeheri. This is a great chance for him now to move forward to the top 3. Can he keep this moving? Down the straight, looking strong. Rashid Aldeheri, not quite close enough for the move. And it's Deligny, Rivera, further back, we're going to get some action. That is a hard charging move from Luduce. Luduce is working hard here to go round the far side of Giovanni Mascio. And this could directly affect Freddie Slater's chances, because if these two hold each other up, Freddie Slater may get a chance to move up quicker than he planned. Slater's back in the pit lane with Finley Green. They're back in pit lane. Freddie Slater is in the pits. And I think that's game over. I wonder if there's been a little bit of a moment between Finley Green and Freddie Slater. Kato's out of the race as well. He's come back into pits. So no points for Freddie Slater in the 3rd race of round 2. If Gilter wins, he takes the lead of the championship. I cannot believe it. Wow, big drama in this one. Big, big drama. So now there are just 21 cars in the race. Vesalaho out, Pariat out, Finley Green out, Taito Kato out, and Freddie Slater out. There's Finley Green getting out of the car, but we want to see Freddie Slater down at Mumbai Falcons. So Finley Green is out. There's Taito Kato, and there's Freddie Slater in the pit box. Taito Kato is going to get out. I don't think Freddie Slater is. Wow, this is an absolute hammer blow for the Formula Regional Middle East Championship assault. And Freddie Slater's championship lead, which at the end of round 1 was massive, is now nothing. Unless Evan Gilter doesn't finish this race, and he obviously had a problem in race 2. They do say miracles happen in motorsport. Murray Walker always used to say anything can happen, and it usually does. Everything's happened tonight in Yas Marina. Brandon Badua. Stuck in front of Rashid Al-Daheri, can't close up on Yuga Chukwu. He's got to look after the tyres now for the next 18 minutes. Track limits warning now for Enzo Deligny and Aditya Kulkarni. So I would suspect that it's going to be a really interesting fight back now for the drivers further back. Certainly a couple of them out of position now, as we know. There's a battle further back down the field. That's going to be Lorenzo Castillo having a try there on Wang Wei. Couldn't quite make the move as they work their way out of the W Hotel up towards the Formula One pit straight. Still good race battles everywhere you look. Gilter's built up 0.8 of a second on Yuga Chukwu. Third position, that's Badua in front of Al-Daheri. Then Deligny, Rivera, Nile and Nakamura. With the left-hander, back on the power. And in the windy conditions, in these cold temperatures, this is such a tricky part of the course. One gust of wind that hits the car at the wrong angle and all of a sudden you can wash out on the brakes there. Because as you see, there's a lot of lockups into the corkscrew because you're braking as you're turning. It's never advised that you should be steering while braking because that's how the wheels... It's a really tricky part of the course, going up to the corkscrew. So Gilter's got a decent gap here. It's only 0.8 of a second, mind, but it's enough. Yuga Chukwu is the only one able to match Gilter for pace at the moment. But it will do. Look at Yuga Chukwu really hustling Gilter. And Al-Daheri even closer to Badua, but he doesn't want to take any risks he doesn't have to. It's going to be very tricky to see where the pace is going to come as he moves forward. Enzo Deligny doing well in fifth in front of Rivera, Nile, Nakamura, Sawurthan, Bora Karashkedo, and the final point looks like it's going to go to Kanato Lee, race 2 winner of round 1. Forward, and Ernesto Rivera all over the back of Enzo Deligny into the W Hotel section. Trying to close up on the Frenchman, can't get close enough. And the irony of ironies, Enzo Deligny, the man who used to be part of the Red Bull Young Driver Programme, will look in his mirrors and see the man who's effectively taken his place. Well, there's no way I'm letting the Mexican get past me, will think Enzo Deligny. I want to prove to Red Bull, they shouldn't have let me go. They shouldn't have taken that man, they should have kept me. So Enzo Deligny has got a point to prove here tonight. Out through the left. Back on the power, runs a little bit deep in the curbs, but then so too does Rivera. Such a difficult circuit on cold tyres with a cold race circuit. And I cannot describe to you what it's like being in the middle of the desert in the cold. That's effectively what we're in. It's really tricky. These tyres do not work very well. And it's all about trying to manage far into the race the tyres can go. And I'm sorry to say that we've now definitely got 4 retirements. No Vasalaho, no Pariat, no Finley Green, and no Freddie Slater. Championship leader, pitched into a spin by Taito Kato. We think there might have been a second incident that put him down the order. He was on the charge forward and it didn't work out. So I'm sorry to say the championship leader is out of the race. If you're Evan Gilter fans though, it couldn't really be much better. So let's see how it all continues. It's going to be a really interesting challenge forward. So the British flags will have to put their Freddie Slater support on pause until Dubai. For now, they're going to be reeling after Reza Sawurthan, who's now in 9th position. There he is as he goes through in front of Akshay Bora, Jesse Gadashkedo and Kanato Lee. The Mumbai Falcons team still have strength in numbers. Their man is obviously in 4th position now as well, Rashid Al-Daheri. Of course, Rashid does not look like he's a Mumbai Falcon because he's running in the Yazheed colours of the national racing team here at Abu Dhabi. But he is supported by Prema and the Mumbai Falcons team. He's been very much blueprinted into the DNA of the Prema racing team in the last couple of seasons. Speaks fluent Italian now as well as Arabic and English. He's Ferrari's dream in the years to come. So it could be very interesting to see how he continues. Down to the braking zone for the corkscrew. Everybody just trying to take their time as they go through. Coming down through the right, the left, back onto it once again. Down the back straight, looking for a manoeuvre or two. Waiting to see if anybody can pull off something special down in the braking zone. All it takes is for one driver to think, I've got enough tyres, I've got enough distance to make a big lunge. into the apex. Nobody really chancing it yet. Still a long way to go. 13 minutes left. And now we're in the wash of dirty air. This is when things really get tricky in a Formula Regional car. So much more physical to drive than an F4. It's heavier, it's faster, but it's more brutal. That means it's so much more physical. It puts more pressure on the neck muscles, puts more pressure on the upper arms. It is so difficult. So out of the race then, 4 drivers. Yaroslav Zalaho of Ukraine, India's Jaden Pariat, and the 2 Englishmen, Finley Green and Freddie Slater. Freddie Slater came into the round, of course, as the championship leader, having blitzed his 2 races from the front of the grid in race 1 and 3 at round 1 of the Grand Prix circuit. The corkscrew layout in these Formula Regional cars has just not been his friend. But Freddie Slater fans can breathe a sigh of relief. The next round of the championship is Dubai. And he's got a great reputation on the Dubai Autodrome after turning what was a really decent deficit in the championship and turned it around into the F4 UAE title last year. So if he's going to bounce back in style, you couldn't really pick a better circuit to do it for Freddie Slater. It's a happy hunting ground, the Dubai Autodrome. So he'll go away. This will be ancient history by tomorrow. He'll rebuild, he'll respawn for the gamers. He'll be absolutely invincible if he gets half a chance. On the back straight. Still good battles as Jin Nakamura trying to get away from Reza Suwerden. In the background, that's Akshay Bora. And we've got Jesse Kadashkedo under pressure from Kanato Lee. Lee looks like he's got a run. Kadashkedo senses it. Down in the braking zone. Kanato Lee going right round the far side. Can he pull that off? Both drivers giving each other enough space to battle. They're still side by side. We're into video game territory between these two now. Kanato Lee still keeping his foot in. Kadashkedo still defending. To turn 1, someone's got to back down, someone's got to yield, neither chooses to, and Kanato Lee round the outside. Majestic overtake. Finishes the job on Jesse Kadashkedo. Magic from Kanato Lee. One of the quietest, calmest men in motorsport. He pulls off a euphoric overtake. Lovely job from Kanato Lee. So it's going to be really exciting to see how this finishes. It'll be a tough progression. So I'm going to see a really solid run as we continue on the charge. Evan Gilter leading the way from Yuga Chukwu, but it's only 0.4 of a second. Anybody who thinks that Yuga Chukwu is not going to get a chance is absolutely fooling themselves. There is Gilter and Yuga Chukwu going through in the chicane, very close together, but Doa is on his own. Where's Aldaheri? He's dropped back a couple of seconds. So there's the battle. Here we go. Yuga Chukwu has dialed in Gilter. Now we're going to get a fight for the victory. Gilter's got to keep his wits about him. Yuga Chukwu will want to make this nice and easy. Gilter look in his rear view mirrors. I'm on you, I'm going to get this move. It's inevitable. And Evan Gilter's got to just keep pushing and hope that the move never comes. Over the line. Still at 0.4 of a second, and he's trying to shake the toe. He knows that Yuga Chukwu is going to be a big threat. France versus America. ART Grand Prix versus Race GP. This is the team that manufactured the title bid for Tuukka Tappanen last year. His incredible run to the title had made Race GP very much the stars of the show in 2024. Finally able to crack the whip to Mumbai Falcons. Now, not just them, but also ART Grand Prix seem to be their measure. But can Yuga Chukwu defeat Gilter? As Rashid Aldaheri's really struggling. He's lost ground. That's Deligny who's gone through, and Rivera, Nala, Nakamura are all over him. Tough to know where to look, because Gilter's really hanging on by a thread here from Yuga Chukwu. But this has much bigger bearings on the championship fight. And Freddie Slater, watching in the pit lane, will be hoping that Yuga Chukwu gets through. Because even though he's not in the same team, if he can even make one bid to get through on the inside line, then things are going to be very different. Aldaheri trying to shake off Teofil Nal, still pushing hard. Don't forget that there's 30 points available for the race win. So if Gilter wins this race, he goes on to 110 points. If he gets second, big dive on the inside from Teofil Nal. Rashid Aldaheri has no response. It happened almost too quick for him to compete. And now Schilter, Jürgen Chukwu dives in on Schilter, thank you very much, and steals the lead from the Frenchman. Evan Schilter is now going to have to try and fight back on Jürgen Chukwu. So now the hunted becomes the hunter, and Schilter is going to have another go. Jürgen Chukwu working hard. Schilter pushing round the far side. Can Jürgen Chukwu hold this? Schilter's got to keep his foot in, and it's the American who holds on. Now, Evan Schilter finishes second. That still puts him in the lead of the championship. It would put him on 102 points compared to Slater on 98, and he won't get any more. If Evan Schilter wins, he gets 110 points. If Schilter comes second, he's on 102. That's still 4 ahead of Slater. So it's not disastrous for Schilter, but it's wonderful for Jürgen Chukwu, who will leap all the way up into the top 5 if he finishes with the victory. That's the thing with this point system for 2025. 30 points for the win, 8 more than the guys in second place. Here's the move from Reza Suwerden. He gets ahead of Rashid Al Daheri. He's another star sensational rookie who's having a tough night. We knew it was going to be a difficult one for Freddie Slater after lap 1, but Rashid Al Daheri is plummeting by the wayside. This is not the race he was hoping to have at all. And now there's a real mix coming down to the first turn of this part of the circuit. Jin Nakamura has got pressure from behind him. Not a lot of racetrack for Jack Beaton to play with. Just about gets away with that. But Rashid Al Daheri is really struggling. When your tyres go on Geeties in Formula Regional, they really go. And that's Liu Che. Liu Che in the Origin, battling away with Jack Beaton. Liu Che really is having a very strange season indeed. He has a great race, and then he has a miserable one, and then he bounces back. The Origin Motorsport team, of course, formerly known as R&B, the team that have had absolutely no success in Formula Regional Middle East, and now Liu Che is hoping to change that right round the outside of Beaton. Liu Che, lovely, beautiful racecraft from the Chinaman. Well done to Liu Che. That was really tough to pull off. Looks like the Axel GP's missed part of the chicane. Jack Beaton now wants to take him on. A Mumbai Falcon being overtaken by an Origin, aka an R&B. I'm not standing for that, says Jack Beaton. Gets back on terms with Liu Che as Liu's teammate, Wang Shongwei, comes into the pits to retire. Meanwhile, Akshay Bora is now trying to take on Rashid Al Daheri, who was dropped all the way to 8th from what was a battle for the podium. Kanato Lee fancies a shot, so too does Jesse Kadashkado. But with 5 minutes to go, several drivers are really struggling for tyres now. Rashid Al Daheri in particular. It's almost as if he's thrown the anchor over the side of the boat and it's now dragging on the bottom of the ocean. And Kanato Lee finds his feet round the outside, gets the move done on Akshay Bora. Now he's lining up Al Daheri. You couldn't overtake him. This is how it's done. Watch this. Tries to brake late on Al Daheri. But Kanato Lee gets squeezed. Forced off the curb on the far side as Al Daheri is doing everything he can to hold him at bay. Really tough, really tough. Let's see if he can continue his move further forward. Down on the inside line. Tough to get patient here. Things are a really tricky move. Still going on the far side. It's a really tricky situation as they continue. Braking zone. Side by side. That's the two teammates having at it. That's Akshay Bora trying to get back on the inside of his teammate Jin Nakamura. Almost contact as Liu Che, Chinese driver, now trying to get into the move. And side by side, Rashid Al Daheri going wheel to wheel with Kanato Lee. Can Kanato Lee get there? He's a nose in front. He's more than a nose in front. Get around the far side. Al Daheri fancies his chances. He's still to the inside line. This isn't over yet. They're still side by side. Going to be enough of an opportunity. Side by side. Al Daheri trying to keep his foot in, but that's well and truly done now by Jesse Kadashkado as well as Kanato Lee. Liu Che, the Chinese ace, all over the back of the race GP cars. Jack Beaton is desperately trying to get past the Chinese ace. I'm not being beaten by an Origin, says Jack Beaton, but he's struggling for tyres now as well. He's falling into the clutches of Giovanni Mascio. Mascio on the inside of Beaton. He gets through. There's overtakes galore here as Mascio and Beaton bang wheels out of the final turn onto the F1 pit straight. Mascio and Beaton get away with that, but that was bumper cars. That wasn't Formula Regional. Let's see if they can continue this battle up the crest, and still they're banging wheels, Beaton and Mascio. Up to this corkscrew section once again, out ahead, he's desperate to hang on as Mascio dives in on Beaton. Beaton's giving him a little bit of space, that's perfectly acceptable from the Aussie. See, he gave Mascio all the room in the world to play with there. That was very sporting from Jack Beaton, and he just made sure he had plenty of skill to get back on the power. No worries at all. Mascio down the head, he desperately hanging on. There's not a lot he can do about this. He's got a hard task ahead of him as everybody's mixing it. Jack Beaton's got a chance to get back in. Meanwhile, we jump further forward because Ernesto Nevada is battling away with Reza Sawirthan. Sawirthan's trying to take on the Red Bull youngster from Mexico. Where do you look? There's too many battles to focus on. And there's a potential here for Freddie Slater fans to breathe a sigh of relief, because Brandon Badua is only 2 seconds back now from Schilter, and they are struggling on tyres, the both of them. So Schilter could drop to third now. And if that happens, then I do believe that Freddie Slater would lead the championship on countback. They would be tied for points going to Dubai. So this is not done yet. A lot of people saying, what is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. This is what happens when you put Formula Regional cars at Yas Marina at 11 o'clock at night. It's now 11:34. There's a yellow flag waving at turn 1 on the Grand Prix circuit. Why is that? There's a car in the barriers. Now, I'm not sure who that is that's gone. It looks... Is that Yuga Chukwu? It's Yuga Chukwu! The race leader's gone! Yuga Chukwu out at turn 1 of the Grand Prix circuit! The race leader has gone! What on earth happened? Yuga Chukwu climbs the barriers, and that's the race leader gone! What has happened to Yuga Chukwu? I cannot believe it! And that means that now Evan Schilter leads the race from Brandon Badua with 1.4 seconds between them. So that's great news for Schilter fans. I cannot believe it. What's happened to Yuga Chukwu? The race leader gone and in the barriers. Well, we may get a replay of that. We really need to see what happened there to Yuga Chukwu if we can get a camera on it. Good chance we might have done, but disaster for Yuga Chukwu. I can't believe it's all gone wrong. Was that his mistake, or did something break on the car? We'll find out later, but for the moment, Reza Sawirthan's battling with Ernesto Nevada for P5 now. So Reza Sawirthan's having a terrific final race in Formula Regional Middle East. This is his perfect way to bow out of the championship before he returns to Great Britain. We're still under yellow flags. We're under safety car. We're going to finish under safety car. I can't believe it. We're going to finish under safety car, and that means that Evan Schilter is going to win this race. Can you believe it? There is no replay that we're told either as well for what happened to Yuga Chukwu. We shall never know. I think we're going to have to wait and hear it from him. Oh my goodness. Well, Yuga Chukwu out of the race from the lead. It couldn't be any more dramatic if you tried. Freddie Slater out. Yuga Chukwu out. And all of a sudden, the man who's left is Evan Schilter. These two guys are still going side by side. We're under safety car, guys. What are you doing? Well, these guys still think they're racing. They haven't seen the yellow flags. Now they have. You need to look at the digi flags. They're all flashing yellow, guys. You're not under racing conditions anymore, sunshine. Wow, unbelievable scenes here. It's been the most dramatic evening of motorsport you ever could have asked for at Yas Marina, as into the last lap goes Evan Schilter behind the safety car. The Frenchman has been gift-wrapped a victory and now has 110 points coming his way. He started this race on 80. He's now going to get 30, and that's going to give him a 12-point lead in the championship over Freddie Slater. How dramatically has this championship fight turned around? And for the first time in the championship, the rookie victor is going to be Ernesto Rivera, who only just manages to stay in front of Reza Suwerden. That's what they were battling for. They were battling for the rookie win. My goodness me. The most dramatic of ends to the day we could have asked for. Hugo Ugachukwu, having fought his way into the lead past Evan Schilter, led all the way, and then washed out. We don't know whether it was the car, we don't know whether it was him. It doesn't matter. Hugo Ugachukwu 30 points are wiped out. I mean, you've got to remember it's 11:30 at night here in Yas Marina. Maybe he pushed the tyres too hard, maybe the brakes were just too cold. Whatever it was, it's game over. And it's Evan Schilter who will take the win from Brandon Badua. And the third man on the podium for his first podium of the campaign will be the Frenchman Enzo de Ligny. In fact, no, sorry, his second podium of the campaign, I do believe. What a dramatic night. You'd never have guessed that that was going to happen, would you? In Formula Regional, once you take the lead and you bed into a rhythm with the kind of driver that Hugo Ugachukwu is, that would be it. Wow, unbelievable. Who'd have thought that with all that hard work done for Hugo Ugachukwu, the man who tamed Macau has been bitten by turn one at Yas Marina on the Grand Prix layout. That's the most dramatic way for this race to have ended that we could have asked for. We've been trying to look for footage of the incident, but unfortunately they were too busy following the cars just up the road in front of them, we're told, so I'm afraid that there is no shot at the moment until after it's already happened. Safety car in at the end of this lap. The race will finish under safety car, and the 30 points and the lead of the championship will go to Evan Schilter. The championship is not over. There's still 9 races to go, of course. 3 at Dubai Autodrome, 3 back here at Yas Marina, and then the season finale at Lusail International Circuit, which I'm fairly sure none of the drivers in this field have ever raced at before in a single-seater. But it's a very dramatic night here for the third race of the second round of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. You couldn't have asked for more dramatic. Freddie Slater out, Hugo Ugachukwu takes the lead and then goes off the road, and it hands Evan Schilter and ART Grand Prix their second win of the season together. Kanato Lee gave them the third back in round 1, but now the title attack is raging. It'll be Freddie Slater versus Evan Schilter all the way to Dubai. Safety car peels in, Evan Schilter claims the checkered flag, and it is the ART man who takes the win and the lead of the championship. Badua second, de Ligny third, 4th for Nile, 5th for Rivera, 6th for Reza Suwerden. From Kanato Lee, Jesse Gadashkedo, Jin Nakamura, Rashid Al-Naheri drops all the way to 10th. Akshibora is 11th, and the last point goes the way of the Chinese driver, Liu Ruche. And that is the first point of the season, I believe, for the Autogene Motorsport team. Wow. I mean, there are some races and there are some races. That is absolutely extraordinary. As Hugo Ugachukwu, leading the race, drops it. Whether the car dropped him or he dropped the car, we'll have to find out in the race report afterwards. I think it's going to take him a long time to talk about it. Probably won't have that conversation until Dubai. But I am just stunned. This championship really does have you on the edge of your seat sometimes. Just when you think, oh, the race is dull and sorted now, it's all finished. Oh no, there's always a sting in the tail. There's always some drama around the corner. And we always knew the corkscrew layout this late at night was going to provide some drama. Boy, did it ever. Just 18 cars of the 26 that started finish a crazy race. The retirements were many and plentiful. Yaroslav Vezalaho, Jaden Pariat, Finley Green, Freddie Slater, Aaron Cameron, Lorenzo Castillo, Wang Shengwei, and Hugo Ugachukwu. But the race winner is the Frenchman, Evan Schilter. And now he is the championship leader. Can you believe it? After the first round of the championship at Yas Marina, we would have said, right, well, that's it then. Freddie Slater's got a big lead. All he's got to do is consolidate, get some points in the bag, and it's all done. But Freddie Slater told me himself on Tuesday night, this is far from over. I may have a lead, but that can disappear quickly in Formula Regional. Well, he wasn't wrong. So with 6 down and 9 to go, this championship is wide open, and I don't think it's going to be easy to sort out. But Evan Schielter is drinking in the moment. One of the toughest races of his career. And right when he needed a win, right when he needs to prove to the world, look, I'm a strong competitor, I can do this, I am world class. He showcases just why. You could argue that this victory was handed to him, but the championship lead wasn't. He had to fight for it. He was on course for second. That would have given him the championship lead by 4 points anyway. He deserves to be leading the championship at this point. So does Freddie Slater. But motorsport giveth and motorsport taketh away. The racing gods can be cruel just as they can be kind. Tonight, it was cruel to the Englishman. It was kind to the Frenchman. Brandon Badua comes away with a very worthy second place. Enzo de Ligny gets a third place finish. And he'll be happy with his second podium of the campaign. Kudos to Reza Sawerthan in his last race of the campaign. He comes through for very nearly a rookie victory. And a very feisty drive from him as well. Worthy of a British hero. Couldn't quite get the move on Ernesto de Vera in the end, so he has to settle for second in rookie. But for ART Grand Prix, they've done the unthinkable. A few days ago, we all thought this was Freddie Slater's title to lose. He's not leading the championship anymore. This man is the Frenchman for ART Grand Prix, Gigi Evan Schielter. The boxing gloves came out there with this celebration. That's what it means to Evan Schielter, one of the loveliest men in motorsport. And the whole of France will be so proud of what he's achieved. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. Very much cut from the same mould as Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. He's another superstar in the making. Formula One, you better get ready. This lad will be gold dust for you. So while ART Grand Prix and Evan Schielter celebrate an unbelievable victory under the circumstances, there's Yugo Ugochukwu. He's made it back to the pits, but very miserable he will be, I'm sure. Evan Schielter takes the win from Brandon Badua and Enzo de Ligny. Teo Filnal is fourth. The rookie winner is Ernesto de Vera in P5 from Reza Sawerthan. Great drive from the Englishman. Then Kanato Lee, Jessica Descado, Jin Nakamura, Rashid Al-Daheri in 10th. In front of Akshay Bora, and the final point going the way of the Chinese driver Liu Ruche. Giovanni Mascio in front of Kai Dadianani, then Jack Beaton ahead of Aditya Kulkarni. Everett Stack, Taito Kato, and he was the last man home. Retirements from Yugo Ugochukwu, Wong Sheng-wei, Lorenzo Castillo, Aaron Cameron, Freddie Slater. The championship leader once upon a time, Finley Green, Jaden Pariat, and Yaroslav Vezalaho. The championship has been turned on its head tonight. It's the Frenchman, Evan Schielter, now in charge. Well, we've got our drivers at the sharp end of the field for a crazy, crazy race in race 3, round 2. Let's start with Enzo Deligny, third position. I think the podium was a good opportunity. It was a bit late in the day coming for you, but what a great race that was from you to keep ahead of so many tough drivers behind you.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy race. I definitely didn't expect to be on the podium today, but I just had a clean race on my side, and yeah, so much stuff happened around me that in the end I just found myself on the podium. But yeah, still some work to do to get the pace better, but you know, we'll take a podium. It's definitely great. It's good.
Heading to Dubai in 2 weeks' time, how confident are you guys of being able to find the pace and unlock some more silverware there?
Yeah, as a team, I think we're definitely more confident going into Dubai. I think it might suit our setup better, and yeah, we'll be looking definitely to be faster there.
Good job tonight, Enzo. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the man in second position after a very smooth race to come home in second place. Brando Badilla from the front row of the grid to second position. It's been a race of attrition, but it's also been a race of tyre management. It looked really, really difficult out there with the cold temperatures.
No, yeah, it's been a good race. I've been struggling a bit in the beginning. I was not as fast as the two guys in front, but then from mid-race afterwards, I was really quick, catch up the guys in front, close the gap. I was a bit unfortunate that they called the safety car in the last couple of laps because I was getting closer to the leader, but still, I'll take a P2. It's a lot of points done this weekend, so I'm happy about that.
52 points in one day. We head to Dubai next. How confident are you that you'll have the pace there again?
I'm really confident. I like the track a lot, so yeah, looking forward to dry in a bit.
So are we. Good stuff, Brando. Well done today.
Thank you.
So let's catch up with the man in first position from pole, taking not just the win, but the 30 points that go with it and moving into the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Evan Schilter, don't think you were thinking that was going to happen this weekend, but 2 wins and ART Grand Prix on top. How'd you feel after that one?
Well, first of all, I'm really sorry about what happened to Hugo. He deserved the win today, but yeah, on our side, we are really happy. The race 2 wasn't really on our side. We had some mechanical issue and we cannot take the start, so unfortunately it's like this. But yeah, with that victory, it's feeling good for the championship. And yeah, we come back really strong after this problem. So yeah, we are really happy. We worked a lot to improve the car again. We struggled a bit with the degradation, but yeah, we are feeling confident for Dubai, and yeah, we have a good speed, so it's good.
You were the man sat directly behind Hugo Bogacic when he had the problem. Can you tell us and enlighten us from your side a little bit of what might have happened?
To be honest, I was a bit far from him, so I didn't see really what happened. I saw a big smoke at T16, so I just thought that he was locking up. And then on the straight from Formula 1, I saw a lot of smoke, so I don't know what happened, to be honest.
We'll have to investigate that one later, but great job from your side, a second win of the weekend. Well done, Evan.
Thank you.
From one winner to another winner, we're going to talk to the Rookie Cup winner now, the Mexican driver who's been fantastic for the Red Bull Junior program, and good to see him put on an excellent display. We'll have a word with Ernesto Rivera, a first rookie win of the season for you, and after a tough race with Reza Sawerthan, that was nail-biting all the way. You must be absolutely worn out after that.
Yeah, it was quite a tough weekend and a tough race. At the end, I struggled a lot with the dehydration, and I had to block really hard for 3 laps, so at the end we finished on their safety car, so that kind of helped me.
So now we've got the 2 weeks break heading to Dubai Autodrome. What's going to be your focus getting ready for that one?
Well, I have to work hard. I have to do a lot of sim. Also look at the data from here and see where can I improve. Also understand more the tires. Yeah.
Good job today, and we hope to see more from you on the rostrum later in the season. Good job.
Thank you.
And so to our final podium ceremony of the night in the most dramatic race of the 2020. France, Enzo Deligny. The Race GP driver will make his way to the podium for the second time in as many rounds. In second position for Italy, Brando Badilla. A grand total of 52 points scored from just today alone. He's right back in the hunt. But your race winner for France, Evan Gilter! The boxer makes his way back to the top spot on the podium. A very worthy winner, and now the new championship leader. Finally, we welcome to the podium for Mexico, the Rookie Cup winner, Ernesto Rivera! A great result for the Pinnacle Motorsport youngster. That's the first time you've seen him on the rostrum in 2025. It's almost certain that it won't be the last. Now, it's my honor to invite Davide De Gobbi, the General Manager of Top Speed. Happy birthday, by the way, Davide, as he welcomes the drivers on the podium. Starting, of course, with the driver in third position for France and Race GP, Enzo Deligne. And in second position for Italy and PHM Racing, Brando Badua. And to our race winner for France and ART Grand Prix, Evan Gilter. And last but by no means least for Mexico and Pinnacle Motorsport, the Rookie Cup winner, Ernesto Rivera. Focusing on the photographers on the pit wall, gentlemen. That's where your pictures are being taken. What an amazing couple of weeks we've had on the Yas Marina circuit. The meeting place of champions have given us a lot of drama. We go to Dubai Autodrome in 2 weeks' time for more action from Formula Regional and F4 Middle East Championships. But right now, the drivers can celebrate in the time-honored fashion. It's time for our racers in Formula Regional to get busy with the fizzing. This championship just went nuclear. We cannot wait to see how the story unfolds when we head to the next round of the championship at Dubai Autodrome in 2 weeks' time. Great races from our competitors in both the F4 Middle East and the Formula Regional Middle East Championships. It's been an amazing couple of weeks, and we've had some fantastic races all the way. But there is a lot more to do when we head to the Dubai Autodrome in 2 weeks' time. Join us then from Jake Sanson and the rest of the team here at Yas Marina. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Dubai. Bye for now.